Friends, criminal defense attorney Ryan Pacyga from ArrestedMN.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about some tips on how to hire a lawyer or what to look for. So picture this, you get some sort of legal problem. Maybe it's been an arrest or a criminal charge, and either you start Googling lawyers to try to find a lawyer, or you're getting a bunch of letters all of a sudden from lawyers you've never met because they found out, they look at directories, find out who's charged, and some of them just send random letters um, making all sorts of claims about what they may or may not be able to do, or scaring you to death that it's a very serious case when it may or may not be. Okay. So you figure this out. How in the world do I hire a lawyer? And lawyers, like a lot of other professionals, have a wide range of experience. Some of them have been doing it 6 months, some of them have been doing it 60 years. And of course, there's a wide range of prices as well that go into experience and talent and the market that you're in and the nature of the legal problem you have and so forth and so on. But I want to give you some tips because I know that I would appreciate that if I'm going, for example, to a mechanic. If I go to a mechanic, I don't know if it's a $5 part that I need or if the whole transmission's out. And I could easily get fooled into spending more money than I would need to go to get, or than I would need to spend without knowing any of that, right? Because how do I know who's being honest with me or not? And how do I know who's really good or not? I might take word of mouth from someone and that, but I want to give you a little bit of a guide to try to help you out. So here's some things to watch for and watch out for. Number one, does the lawyer you're talking to make promises, especially early on? It's very hard to believe a promise that a lawyer makes if they're on a 5 to 30 minute call with you and they're already talking about what kind of outcome they can get you and promising you that. That's a big red flag. The reason is because they're only hearing your side of the story. They don't know the other side of it yet. They haven't been able to see any of the actual evidence in the case, which is a really important thing. So that's kind of like talking to a doctor and saying, I hurt right here. This is over the phone. I hurt here. This is how long it's been going on. Can you make me better? No lawyer, no doctor is going to tell you, absolutely, this is what you've got, and take this pill and you're going to be better. What would they have you do? They'd have you come to their office, they'd give you an exam, and they would find out with more data what's really going on before they get a better idea of what you have going on and how they think they can help. And in my opinion, that's like what an honest lawyer would do in that situation as well. So we can kind of give you some general predictions about things a little bit, depending on the situation, but certainly not guarantees or promises on outcomes. That's a big red flag if you're getting that early on. Um, Second, get this: there are lawyers that advertise for cases that they really don't do or really have never done. You'd be surprised by that, right? And so the reason that they do that is if they advertise for cases and then you call them and it's not a case that they've done before, a lot of those lawyers will refer those cases out to other lawyers and ask for what's called a referral fee back for sending it out. And so they're really just trying to make more money for themselves by getting a case and then referring it out that way. And so beware of that. But even worse, I think, sometimes is a situation where a lawyer is advertising for a case and they don't have any structure around or experience around doing it. Now, there's two ways a lawyer can protect you and do a good job for you in a situation. Number one, of course, is if they have experience in those kind of cases before and have done them. And I mean a good amount of experience, not one or something like that. But then the other piece is this: lawyers can surround themselves with other lawyers that do whatever kind of case that they want to help you with, right? So let's say, for example, it's a personal injury case. Someone's been injured. A lawyer sounds like they're honest. They might be really good in court. They don't have a lot of experience in it, but they have agreed to work with another lawyer on those kind of cases who has a lot of experience in personal injury. And then that lawyer kind of has a safety net to help you with, right? And can be part of your case, but also is teaming up with someone with perhaps more experience in that field. And that way you're still protected, and that's okay. What you want to watch out for is someone, who's never done, let's say it's a homicide case, and they've done some DWIs but never a murder, and all of a sudden they're willing to take a murder on. They may very well be in over their head. And sometimes lawyers are tempted to take a case like that because of the money, unfortunately, but that they haven't had enough experience in felony jury trials or serious crimes to really give you a good shot in court. And that's something that you, of course, would want to watch out for. So these are questions you can be asking when you're interviewing lawyers, either over the phone or in their office, okay? Otherwise, it would be a bad idea. That would be like ending up hiring a brain surgeon when you need a heart surgery. The brain surgeon might be a great brain surgeon, but I don't know about you, I wouldn't get a heart surgery from someone who's a brain surgeon. I'd go to the heart surgeon, right? Makes sense? Same with lawyers. Third, how much experience do they have, the lawyer, and how often are they in court? So not everybody can afford a really experienced lawyer, right? And even some experienced lawyers, their fees are lower. Some inexperienced lawyers have high fees. So that's not always true that the level of experience dictates the fee. But generally, the less experienced a lawyer is, the lower their fee is going to be. And so how serious is your case, and what kind of lawyer do you need, and what kind of lawyer can you afford? Of course, that plays into the equation as well. Now, if it's a case that has to go to court, here's why I say that. Some cases, some lawyers don't go to court. They're a contracts lawyer. They draft contracts or wills or leases or things like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a criminal case, a personal injury case where you might have to go to court and sue it out, things like that, a divorce, whatever. So ask the lawyer if it's a kind of court case, how often are they in court? Are they in court every week? Like us criminal defense lawyers, I'm in court every single week, oftentimes 5 days out of the week. Are they in court once a month? Are they in court once a year? How long have they been going to court? Those are some questions you want to ask because you want a lawyer who's experienced in the courtroom. Here's why. Lawyers might know the law well, but knowing how to make things happen in a courtroom is a much different skill. And it's also a separate set of knowledge than just knowing the law well, the rules of evidence. Some lawyers know the law well, but they don't know how the rules of evidence really work. Just because they took evidence in law school and passed the bar doesn't mean they really understand the rules of evidence. So how well do they know the rules of evidence? How well do they know how to interact with judges and court staff? And probably most importantly, of course, how well do they know how to interact with juries? Picking a jury isn't what a lot of lawyers think it is, even some lawyers that have done it a long time. Picking a jury is a true art form. It takes experience, it takes study, and if you get the wrong jury on a case or you don't know how to pick them right, your case is over before it begins, and so that's something to watch out for as well. And just because they're a lawyer, even a long-time lawyer, doesn't mean they've been to court much, so ask that question. How many trials have they had? Now, I'm not talking about little speeding tickets. Some lawyers have been, prosecutors where they prosecute speeding tickets, which at least in Minnesota aren't truly a crime. They're called a petty misdemeanor. You don't even get a jury for those. That's not a trial. I'm talking about jury trials, misdemeanors, felonies, especially felonies, right? And how many trials have they had? So is it less than 10? That's not a lot of trial experience. Is it 10 to 25? Okay, that depends. If they're felony trials, that's something. Is it 25 to 100? That's a lot of trials. The more trials a lawyer has had, oftentimes the better shape you're going to be in as a client because there is a true learning curve to trying cases. Yes, talent can beat sometimes even experience, but experience do not underestimate it whatsoever. Experience is very important. There are a lot of ways where knowing the evidence can craft how a case goes, or knowing the rules of evidence, knowing what really works with juries and those sort of things. So this is important for you. Now, what kind of resources does a lawyer have? Do they work all by themselves out of their home or something like that? Do they have a paralegal or multiple paralegals or legal assistants that can really help? It's a team approach in your case. Why? Think about a nurse and a doctor. The doctor can concentrate on a surgery on what they need to be doing, or even in the office, the doctor can concentrate on reviewing the scans, coming up with a treatment plan, those sorts of things, hands-on with patients, while the nurses can help them do the things that the doctors know how to do, but a nurse can do just as well, which frees the doctor up to do what they're really, really trained to do. When a lawyer has a paralegal or legal assistant, it also helps the lawyer because we're able to focus on examining the evidence, strategizing on the case, meeting with the client, planning a trial, getting other evidence, whatever, while the legal assistant can handle some of the other things that bog us down and take our time away from doing what we have the talent to do. And that's very important work that legal assistants do. They're great. They're very important. So this is not to minimize the work they do, but rather they're very valuable because they help a lawyer do our job better, all right? And legal assistants can do things like manage calendars, order extra evidence, set court dates, handle some routine calls, which frees us up to really focus on doing what we do well. Does a lawyer have private investigators available? Oftentimes, a private investigator or two can make a big difference in a case as well. So, is the lawyer equipped with that? Do they work with them? Is that available to you as a client? Does the lawyer have other connections to make recommendations and resources for you? Things like that can make a difference in your case. Therapy, treatment, whether it's medical or medical in a personal injury case, or treatment like alcohol or drugs or something if it's a criminal case. A whole bunch of other resources that can be available to it. Lawyers who've been doing it a while tend to get connected with good resources, hopefully, that can really make a difference for you, not only to help you get through the stress of having a case, but also to put your life in a better place. And that can make a difference in your case as well as after your case, which I think is really important as well. Because after all, you are more than just your case. And sometimes you need someone to tell you that to help you remember it because you're going through a tough time. And I want you to know that you are more than whatever your case is. And so let's take a look at not only your case, but looking forward, what's going to put your life in a better place as well. That's important. How easy is a lawyer to talk to, right? Do you feel like you can have a conversation with them? Are they cutting you off? Are they shutting you up and just talking all they want to do? Or are they listening to you? Do you feel like they hear you? Do you feel like they understand you? And do you feel like they really care about what you got going on? Or are they just rushing into the money question, right? Those are some things that you should watch out for. And what does it sound like the lawyer is interested in, right? What does it seem like their why is for being a lawyer, or their why for wanting to potentially work with you on your case and be your lawyer? So those are just some factors. Every situation is unique. But I would recommend that you pick someone that'll listen to you, that knows what they're talking about and has experience, and that doesn't in a way sound too good to be true or making promises and just telling you what you want to hear to get your money. Watch out for that, okay? That's just a red flag. So I hope this helps you. It's a way to kind of protect people, I think, for when they're hiring a lawyer. And I think that the lawyers out there that are doing good work and want to help people and do it for the right reasons wouldn't shy away from answering these questions, and will be honest about them. So there's a consumer tip. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you found it helpful. If you like my videos, please like it, show me, subscribe to the channel, give me some comments out there, and then share this with some friends and family if they're going to need it as well. I do enjoy helping people through these videos. Have a great day.